Welcome to US Briefing. The content of the briefing includes UNM ready to pull back curtain on 2023-24 Lobo men's basketball season. Family of Al Jazeera Gaza bureau chief killed in airstrike. Brazil scientists developing new vaccine for cocaine addiction. No, one pick Victor Wembanyama is set to debut with the San Antonio Spurs and the world is watching. Thousands of Las Vegas hotel workers fighting for new union contracts rally, block strip traffic. UNM ready to pull back curtain on 2023-24 Lobo men's basketball season. Yahoo! Nelly Jr. Joseph, a 6 feet 10 inches transfer from Iona, will play his first game for the University of New Mexico after making it back to the U.S. from Nigeria. Richard Pitino, the Lobos coach, said Joseph had played in an international tournament in Toronto in July before returning to Nigeria to see his family and play for his national team. I felt like those requests were reasonable, said Pitino of Joseph. It was just a long process that we couldn't speed up. It was not a question to answer or submit more information matter. It wasn't any of that. Joseph, who also experienced visa delays in 2020, is expected to play in the exhibition game against Colorado State University Pueblo on Thursday night. Family of Al Jazeera Gaza bureau chief killed in airstrike. Washington Post. Israeli military forces have launched an airstrike attack on a Gaza refugee camp, killing several members of a journalist's family. Wael Dahdouh, a correspondent for Al Jazeera, was unaware that his wife, teenage son, daughter and grandson had died in the attack. Al Jazeera has condemned the attack on innocent civilians. However, the U.S. newspaper Washington Post was unable to independently verify the airstrike. Brazil scientists developing new vaccine for cocaine addiction. Yahoo! Scientists in Brazil have developed a vaccine which they hope will help people to overcome cocaine and crack addiction. Trials on animals have shown that the vaccine, dubbed Calixcoca, triggers an immune response that blocks cocaine and crack from reaching the brain. The vaccine works by producing antibodies that binds to cocaine molecules in the bloodstream, preventing them from entering the brain's mesolimbic system, or reward center. The vaccine is now set to enter the final stage of trials, testing on humans. No, one pick Victor Wembanyama is set to debut with the San Antonio Spurs and the world is watching. Associated Press. Victor Wembanyama, the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft, is set to make his NBA debut with the San Antonio Spurs. Wembanyama, a 19-year-old from France who stands nearly 7'4", has drawn significant attention due to his otherworldly play. His presence has energized the Spurs fanbase, and the team has seen a surge in ticket sales and media interest. Wembanyama's maturity and professionalism have impressed the coaching staff, and he is expected to have a significant impact on the team. Thousands of Las Vegas hotel workers fighting for new union contracts rally, block strip traffic. Associated Press. Thousands of hotel workers in Las Vegas rallied on the Las Vegas Strip on Wednesday night, protesting for new union contracts. The rally caused significant traffic disruption, with dozens of workers sitting in the street, blocking traffic in both directions. The Culinary Workers Union said that up to 75 workers could be arrested for civil disobedience. The protest comes after the workers voted overwhelmingly last month to authorize a strike if new agreements with MGM Resorts International, Wynn Resorts and Caesars Entertainment are not reached soon. Imprisoned apostle of Mexican megachurch La Luz del Mundo charged with federal child pornography. Associated Press. Nazón Joaquín García, the head of the Mexican megachurch La Luz del Mundo, has been charged with possessing and producing child pornography. Garcia, who is currently serving a 16-year sentence in a California prison for sexually abusing young followers, was found to have videos on his iPad that depicted a 16-year-old girl engaging in sexual activity. The federal charges were filed after the state case was finished. Garcia's church claims to have 5 million followers worldwide, and he is considered by believers to be the apostle of Jesus Christ. If convicted of the federal charges, Garcia could face up to 30 years in federal prison. Age no barrier as Indonesia gears up for February 2024 elections. Al Jazeera. Indonesia's constitutional court has rejected a legal challenge to lower the current minimum age for vice presidential and presidential candidates from 40 to 35. However, the court added a caveat that candidates who had already been elected to public office would be allowed to contest even if they were under 40 years old. The decision has paved the way for President Joko Widodo's 36-year-old son, Gibran Rakebuming Raka, the mayor of Surakarta, to run as a vice presidential candidate. The court was also tasked with scrutinizing the upper age limit for candidates after a challenge was filed to exclude those older than 70. That challenge was also rejected, ensuring Prabowo Subianto, a 72-year-old two-time presidential hopeful and the current defense minister, could campaign for the top job. Indonesia will hold simultaneous presidential and legislative elections on February 14 next year. Biden says he has no confidence in Palestinian death count. Reuters. U.S. President Joe Biden expressed skepticism about the death toll in the Gaza Strip, stating that he has no confidence in the number provided by the Palestinian Health Ministry. The ministry claims that over 6,500 people, including 2,700 children, have been killed in Israeli attacks. Biden emphasized the importance of Israel being careful in its targeting and focusing on those who are propagating this war against Israel. However, he did not provide a reason for his skepticism. The Council on American Islamic Relations, CAIR, criticized Biden's comments and called on him to apologize. Biden also stated that Hamas was using Palestinian civilians as shields and that Israel must do everything it can to protect innocent civilians. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Six, your resident observer from the 6 Degrees world, bringing you the latest news from around the globe. Today, we have a lineup of stories that range from sports to science, from politics to protests. So, let's dive right in. First up, we have exciting news from the University of New Mexico, where Nelly Jr. Joseph, a 6 feet 10 inches transfer from Iona, is set to make his debut for the Lobo men's basketball team. Joseph faced visa delays and traveled from Nigeria to the U.S. to join the team. It's been a long process, but he's finally ready to hit the court. And speaking of hitting, the San Antonio Spurs are about to witness the debut of Victor Wembanyama, the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft. This 19-year-old French player, standing at nearly 7'4", has been turning heads with his exceptional skills. The world is watching as Wembanyama prepares to make his mark on the NBA. Moving on to some serious news, tragedy struck in Gaza as an Israeli airstrike targeted a refugee camp, resulting in the deaths of several members of a journalist's family. The attack has sparked outrage, with Al Jazeera condemning the loss of innocent lives. However, the details of the airstrike are still under investigation, and the Washington Post was unable to independently verify the incident. Meanwhile, in Mexico, the imprisoned leader of the megachurch La Luz del Mundo, Nazón Joaquín García, has been charged with possessing and producing child pornography. This shocking revelation adds to the ongoing legal troubles faced by Garcia, who is already serving a 16-year sentence for sexual abuse. It's a stark reminder that power and authority can sometimes be abused. Shifting gears to science, Brazilian scientists are making strides in the battle against drug addiction. They have developed a vaccine named Calixcoca, which shows promise in blocking the effects of cocaine and crack addiction. The vaccine triggers an immune response that prevents these drugs from reaching the brain's reward center. While the vaccine is currently being tested on animals, the final stage of trials will involve human subjects. It's an innovative approach to a challenging problem. Finally, we have some political news from Indonesia. The country's constitutional court has rejected a legal challenge to lower the minimum age for vice presidential and presidential candidates from 40 to 35. However, the court added a caveat that candidates who already hold public office can still run, even if they are under 40. This decision opens the door for President Joko Widodo's 36-year-old son to run as a vice presidential candidate. On the topic of elections, President Joe Biden made headlines with his remarks on the death toll in the Gaza Strip. Expressing skepticism, he stated that he has no confidence in the numbers provided by the Palestinian Health Ministry. Biden emphasized the need for Israel to be cautious in its actions and protect innocent civilians. Well, folks, that wraps up today's news roundup. We've covered a wide range of topics, from basketball debuts to vaccine breakthroughs, from tragic events to political decisions. Remember, knowledge is power, and staying informed is the first step towards making a difference. Now, it's your turn. What are your thoughts on these stories? Do you have any questions or opinions? I'm all ears. Let's keep the conversation going. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.